Welcome back to the Budget Gamer channel, where we bring you critical and in-depth reviews of just about every indie game we can get our hands on, and today we're going to be taking a look at Blossom Tales: The Sleeping King for the Nintendo Switch. And since this one has been out for a while, I'm sure nearly everybody's heard of it, but it was my first time playing it last week, so hopefully the review will still be helpful. But regardless of whether you've heard a lot about it, or you've already played it, or you're totally new to it, it's really easy to tell just by looking at the game that this is one of many Zelda-likes out there. The general story, though, while it doesn't really offer any new gameplay, does offer something new in and of itself. Blossom Tales isn't just a game that you play through, but you're actually playing through a narrative within a narrative, and if you're a fan of, more classic movies like The Princess Bride, it's going to be really easy to both understand and get into the idea that you're playing through a game that's being told as a bedtime story to a grandfather's grandchildren. And as with many classic game stories out there, our story starts off with the main character waking up late on the day that she's supposed to be joining the Order of the Rose. And after being indoctrinated into the kingdom's Order of Knights, the situation pretty much goes to heck in a handbasket. Apparently the court wizard has been planning to take over the kingdom for a long time and just happened to pick today to do it. And even though Lily is just a brand new squire who's not really even supposed to be leaving the castle, she has more than enough heart to collect the ingredients necessary to revive the king from this sleeping spell. And with the goal of finding these mystical ingredients, you'll be navigating your way through several different environmentally themed lands and new dungeons, where you'll fight dozens of mobs and confront unique bosses in order to collect those necessary mystical ingredients to eventually save the kingdom. Along your way though, while Lily does actually start out with the trademark Link sword and shield and can even pull off the spinning attack very early in game, as we would expect from a Zelda-like adventure, you'll be collecting special weapons such as bombs and bows and boomerangs to be able to help you navigate further and further through unique situations and traps and puzzles that will lie in wait for you through the duration of the game. In addition to your ever-expanding complement of weapons and special items though, you'll also have the typical heart containers as well as some power pieces that when combined can increase your health meter or your stamina bar. Additionally, NPCs have been scattered generously throughout the game, and several even offer a couple of ranges of quests. But whether this be finding a special item in a certain area or even delivering the mail across the map, none of them are too difficult but will require a little bit of time in order for you to make your way to a special area and find your selected target. Aside from the staple gameplay dynamics of running around the map, combating enemies, and reshuffling your items as necessary, it is really easy to see that there was a lot of time and love put into Blossom Tales just through its graphics and its audio. It really does appear to be a truly modernized version of what we would expect from classic top-down adventures. But while the environments, the environmental effects, the mobs, and especially the bosses do seem to be very, very detailed, one thing that's been called into question is actually the detail level of the main character's sprite. But while you occasionally may feel like you're a 16-bit girl in a 32-bit world, that doesn't really detract anything from the enjoyment of the game. But one aspect of Blossom Tales' uniqueness that might actually rub some diehard fans of the top-down adventure genre the wrong way is that narrative within a narrative style. Providing players with a bit of meta-awareness, letting them know that this entire adventure is merely the text of a bedtime story definitely doesn't detract from the value of the game, and letting players decide whether in certain interactions they want to fight bandits, assassins, or pirate queens is actually kind of fun. And while real-time narration is actually really cool and has been done exceptionally well in games like Bastion, in Blossom Tales it just comes up just a tiny bit short. Additionally, two of the most main staple and iconic portions of any Zelda-like game are the dungeoneering aspects as well as the environmental puzzles. And while Blossom Tales definitely provides you with deep dungeons and a multitude of puzzles to solve, there's not really too much variety in the puzzles, with the main staples as memory games like Simon spinning tumblers or walking across certain floor patterns that actually do become fairly predictable. On the note of the actual dungeoneering experience though, while the dungeons are actually laid out fairly well and are really engaging as far as their vividness and graphic presentation, as you make your way from puzzle to puzzle, flipping tumbler after tumbler trying to open up that final boss's door, you may find yourself in several occasions feeling a bit overwhelmed by just the sheer number of enemies. And while this definitely doesn't provide too large of a problem, it does seem almost as an artificial way to increase the difficulty level, as most Zelda-like games out there aren't really about mob combat. But overall, despite a few of these subtle critiques, I really have to say Blossom Tales is probably one of the better Zelda-like clones out there. It's unique, it's fun, it actually provides a lot of humor, and if you're tired of playing through the same Zelda game over and over and over just to get your fix, this is actually a pretty great alternative. And despite it not actually bringing anything particularly new to the table for a Zelda-like game, it's obviously a labor of love, and any player who's into this genre can immediately see that. So if you are a fan of those early Zelda games from your childhood, or just a fan of those top-down adventures or open world exploration and dungeoneering, you'd probably enjoy your time playing through Blossom Tales. But anyway, that does about wrap up the review of Blossom Tales: The Sleeping King on the Nintendo Switch. So if you enjoyed the review or found it helpful, feel free to throw me a like or a comment to show your support, and don't forget to click that little bell icon when you subscribe to stay updated with the latest content. There are new and unique indies coming out literally every single day, so there's always going to be some new game to discover right here. But since I can only cover a few games a week, if you want to figure out which ones are coming out next, just get involved with the channel or figure out what I'm up to other than doing these reviews. You can click any of the links in the bottom right corner of our channel's banner for Twitter, Patreon, Instagram, or even Discord if you just want to talk to some other gamers. But anyway, this has been Budget Gamer, so as always, thanks for watching.